Okay, so we're going to look at the investing section of the cash flow now. We have learned how to do the operating activity section. That is what we did yesterday. So we're going to look at now the next section, which will be investing activities. Alright, so we'll put the heading investing activities. We will list the items that we have to list. And just like the section above, we would have a net cash, either inflow or outflow from investing activities. And that will give us our second total that we're going to add in. Okay, so basically this is a piece from the textbook, and it's saying that cash flows from investing activities arise from the sale and purchase of property, plant and equipment, and any other fixed assets along with long-term investments. So what we're looking at is the actual cash that we either paid or received from sale of any fixed assets or investments. Okay, so now we're going to look at the example in the textbook on page 237 to see what we would put in the investing section if we had a question that looked like this. So we know the net income, the depreciation, and the loss on the sale of the plant. All these will go in the operating activities section, right? We know the cash figure we're going to use at the very end: opening cash balance, closing cash balance. When we look at the buildings, we notice that nothing has moved in the buildings, so we know that we haven't purchased or sold any buildings, so we're not going to do anything with that. When we look at the plant, we see the plant has increased by 30,000, so we know we're going to have to do something here. And they have accumulated depreciation. When we look at the long-term investments, we see that there's some movement here. We'd have to do something with that. And mortgage on building would be a long-term liability, so it does not go in this section. This section is for fixed assets and long-term investments. So we read the additional notes and we see that they have long-term investments were sold at book value. So we know in this section then, under the investing activities, in this cash flow, that we're going to have sale of long-term investment, and the actual amount that we sold it for, and is the amount of cash that we sold it for. That's the value we're looking at, and the cash that we sold it for would be $40,000. Since it's a sale, money is coming in, so since money is coming in, we will have that as a positive, right? Okay. Plant which had originally been purchased for $60 was sold for $10,000. Any cash flow, we're not concerned about how much it was originally purchased for. What we're concerned with is the actual amount of money that we got for it. So another item we'll have is sale of plant, and we put the actual cash we receive, and it will remain positive as it is money coming in. Okay, so when we look at the plant now, we see that it was 100,000 in 2009. We see that we are selling 60,000 of it, but yet our final figure is 130,000. How do you think we got to that 130,000? The difference is 90,000. And where would this 90,000 have come from? This 90 would happen because the company clearly purchased more equipment, more plant, right? So under the investing section, we'll have purchase of plant, and it will be 90,000. And it will be negative because it will be an outflow of money. The next thing is the mortgage on buildings, which we know does not go in this section, and therefore the mortgage payment that was made would not go in this section. So we total it up. 40,000 plus 10,000 minus 90, and we get a minus 40,000 that we'll put in the second column, and this would be our net cash, and because it's negative it would be outflow from investing activities. Okay, so now we're moving on to the financing section of the cash flow, where we're going to do financing activities. So after we have the net cash inflow also from investing activities, we go to the net cash inflow outflow from the financing activities. So in this section, we focus our attention on the owner's equity and long-term liabilities, right? So if you think about it, the income statement, net income, etc. went in the operating section where we worked out the net cash flow from operating activities. The fixed assets and long-term investments went in the investing section. Current assets and current liabilities we dealt with in the operating activities. And so now we left with the last piece of the financial statements, which would be the long-term liabilities and the equity. Alright, so things that will go in this section, some examples are cash inflows. So if we borrow cash from creditors, if we issue any equity securities, so any preference shares, any ordinary shares that we may issue or redeem for cash, we would put inside of this section. If we repay any amounts borrowed, if we repurchase any equity shares, any payment of dividends, we will put the payment of dividends inside of this section of the cash flow. Okay, so now we're going to just look at the section on, we're going to use the activity on page 240 and just look at the financing activities section that we will deal with if we had a question looking like this. So we would head up financing activities, and there we'll see what we'll put inside it. So net income, we know we'll go with operating activities. Depreciation would be operating activities. The gain on the sale, operating activities. Dividends paid, we would put that within our financing. So dividends paid, and it was 12,000 and we want the actual amount paid, and it will be negative because the money is going out. We know this is what we'll end the cash flow with. When we look at the common stock, we see there's movement there, so we'll deal with that. Share premium, there's movement there, so we'll deal with that. Redeemable preference shares, there's movement there, so we have to do something there. Debentures, we'd have to do something there. And the mortgage on building went up, so we'll have to do something with that. Just look at the additional information. The issue of common stock was at a premium. This was the only entry to the share premium account. So in other words, what they're telling you there is that everything there would be cash. So we issued common stock and we got 250,000 and 250,000 shares, right? 250,000 share premium. So we issued the stock for 500,000, and that would be money that would be coming in. If you split it, 250 for common stock and 250 for share premium, no problem there. Once you have both 250s as positive, because both of them is money coming in. What's happening with the preference shares? It decreased because we redeemed it. So that means our cash will go up or down. Our cash will go down because to redeem it, we would have to give them cash to get back the shares. So it would have gone down by 200,000. The preference shares were redeemed at par, so that means it will be the exact cash. The debentures went down, so we have repayment of the debentures. So if we're paying that, that's money going out. So that's 140,000 negative. And we took out a mortgage, so money would have come in, right? So that would remain positive. So we've dealt with everything that they've given us. So we just add it up. 398,000, which will go in the outside column, and that gives us our third figure, and that would be net cash inflow, because it's positive, from financing activities, right? And to complete the cash flow, you would add what is in the operating activities section, add what was in the investing activities section, and add financing activities, and that would give you your increase or decrease in cash and cash equivalents. Cash and cash equivalents. Then you would add your opening cash, and in this question the opening cash would be 200,000, and that should add up to give you your closing cash, which in this question is a negative 18,000, which means that they would be in overdraft. Now try page 242, pass mark activity 8.9.